like think of and work on why are we here on earth? What is our mission on earth? It's a big question, I know, what are we doing on earth? What is our mission? And like the three of us, we discuss this all the time, and in a lot of halakas. Hi, Dr. Bashir is here, it seems. Assalamu alaikum. So we keep like discussing these concepts, and then we find that they all at the end come to the names of God. Like, who is God? Like, the question about who is God is at the core of all of our, all of our searches, all of our longings. It doesn't matter what we accomplish, how happy we are at the moment. It's those moments that we feel connected that count for us. So we actually started a while ago with Asmaa, with the names of God in our community center, in our masjid, and then it stopped, and finally we were resuming back again. And inshallah, the format that we hope to have is to have 10 minutes where we will be doing a general introduction about why do we need this in our life. And then 10 minutes will be the name of God will address. And hopefully when you guys are comfortable, we'll be sending out a sign-up sheet. So everyone can choose a Friday where they're presenting just for 10 minutes. And then the last 10 minutes, it will be our discussion time where we will, hopefully figure out where are we seeing this name of God in our life? Because that's what we want. We want these names of God to be things that, to be real, not just knowledge. And I see more people joining. I see our beautiful sister Timomi and a beautiful daughter. And I also see I cannot read the names from my window. But if anyone wants to introduce themselves before we get started, we got 1 more minute, so please go ahead. Mudathir, you need to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Mudathir, yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Alaikum assalam. We've seen you in the hospital with the mask.
Alaikum assalam.
Yes, I'm in clinic, but I'll be listening.
Yes, thank you for doing that. We love having you. And we have this beautiful sister in a beautiful color hijab. It's pinkish.
Ahsan, that's Ahsan.
I see you now. Yeah, because everyone is very small on my screen. Yeah, I see you now. You want to introduce yourself, Ahsan?
Yes, I'm Ahsan. I'm from Turkey originally, living in Charlottesville since 1.5 years, almost 2 years in winter. I graduated from medical school in Turkey, now studying for my exams, waiting dua from you all, inshallah.
And inshallah, may Allah give you barakah in your studies. You can be joining Sister Bashir soon, or shadowing her.
Inshallah.
Momi, do you want to introduce yourself? Rahim. Let's get started. So one of the most commonly recited ayahs of the Quran that we hear a lot is the ayah that says وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءِ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. And to God belongs all of the beautiful names. So call upon him with these names, which is an interesting concept. The concept that God has beautiful names, what does it mean beside a name? And then call upon God with these names. So there are 2 concepts here. Or actually, let's make them 3. God, who is God? And then God that is speaking to us through the Quran is saying that he has beautiful names. And then number 3, he's saying, these beautiful names are there for me. They're for me to ask him through them. So there is God. He has beautiful names, beautiful attributes, and they are there, they're taught to me so I can connect to him through them. So with that, like with this understanding, like a big question comes, like, who, like, the question about who is God. And then the question from, sorry, who is God? I need to make my PowerPoint work in a different way. Okay, from here. The question of who is God, from that question comes, like, who am I, the one who's calling? So as a human being, I thought it's an interesting thing I looked at. What is my needs and potentials as a human being? So I looked in general, like, science studies, and there are basic needs for human beings. Basic needs, some of them are physiological, like eating, drinking. And then right after that comes our safety needs, like to feel safe. And then after that comes our like social needs of love, belonging, self-esteem, dignity, value. But then all of these needs, basic needs, like this was the understanding before. The understanding before with scientists that we have these basic needs as the base of the pyramid. Then at the top of the pyramid, we have this, what they call self-actualization or spiritual need. So the first needs, like at the base of the pyramid as a human being that has a God, like this human being has a need for physiological stuff, food that is given to us, air that is given to us, safety that is given to most of us, and communities that we are part of. And then once we get the old theories that once we have these needs met, we come to that place where we're thinking about our being, our spiritual needs. And that need, the more we pursue it, the more we want to pursue it. While the other needs, when we get them, our drive to pursue is different. But what is interesting is that this pyramid, which has been taught for many, many years, now people are thinking that this pyramid is changed by this diagram. That it's no more a pyramid, that researchers are finding at the heart of every need, there is our spiritual need. Like that, there is a need, the physical need is still there, like our survival need to eat, to drink, our safety. These are all our physical survival needs. Our emotional needs with relationships with our family, with our spouses, our children, our communities, the world at large, and our mental needs for, like, whether it's career, work, growth, all of totally satisfactory until we meet a deeper, a core need that is part of everything, which is our spiritual need. The interesting fact is that, like, as researchers are studying, they are realizing that this spiritual need is a need for meaning, a need for connection, like to be connected. That need for meaning, for me, was a big thing. Like Sister Nadja saying, oh, I've always felt I wanted to know the names of God. All of us have that, like, through my life growing up, I had that need. And I never stopped and asked, why do I have that need? Why do I need to know the names of God? Like, what is, like, I already grew up knowing I need to pray, I need to fast, I need to do zakah, I need to make hajj, like, but why have I always been curious about knowing the names of God? And I guess this comes back to that, like, to that basic, or to that core need in us for spiritual meaning, like that connectedness. And our way to connect through God, like to connect with any human being, is to know. What about to the creator of everything? Like, so now when I look back on our education, I realized that we spent a lot of time learning about, like, what to do, but the part of why are we doing it, like, who is God? Like, we believe in God, but who is God? Like, the question about who is God, that is a core question. And the only way to answer this core question is to know the names of God, the attributes of God, like to understand them, not to know them by knowledge, but to experience them. And why is that a need? It's not something that I, in the past, it almost felt like, when I finish this, now at this age, I'm gonna think about God. Can you imagine, like, this is at the core of everything. If we taught our kids that way, if we were taught that way, probably our life would have changed a lot, because everything we do, whether I'm in the hospital, that is part of connecting with the names of God. If I'm at home, a home care giver, I'm connecting with the names of God. Whatever I'm doing, there is a connection with God. And that's why knowing the names of God is at the center of all of my needs. Like my needs for survival, like I might have food, but if I don't know that this food is coming from the giver, the one who made the whole universe move around to create this one tomato and this one potato and to get this, then I would see this food as something that I'm attached to with fear of losing it. But if I see this food as a sign of generosity of my creator, a sign of like something that connects me with my creator, every time I eat
From the sustain.
very little, I will be connected. So physical, emotional relationships. If I think my friends give me value. So every time, I remember when I was young, when I had, middle school friendship problems, when I saw people that I had problems with, my heart will beat and I will feel so anxious because like we were not friends anymore, or I was worried about them not being friends anymore. But can you imagine if you realize that the friendships that you're surrounded with is God's way of showing you a taste of al-Wadud, the one who loves you. The one, if you imagine people that you love in your life, every one of them is reflecting other names. So every time you connect with them, it takes you to that core, that meaning. Then they're that transient nature of friendship becomes a connection for eternal connection with God. That transient nature of eating becomes an eternal connection with God. Even without jobs, being a doctor, being a teacher, being an engineer, those transient jobs that we have for a small part in our life, if we look at them through the lens of a creator who is showing us meaning and value and contribution in through our jobs, then that job becomes an eternal connection to God. So that is why we're doing this. We're realizing this is so crucial that we need to address. No wonder the first decree for humans was Iqra, read. Iqra bisma rabbika alladhi khalaq. The first revelation that came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was read in the name of your Rabb. Your Rabb, who is that Rabb? Rabb, English, the simple translation is Lord, but in Arabic, the word Rabb means the providing, sustaining, guiding Lord. He provides you, he sustains you, like every breath is sustenance, every friendship, every job, and guides you. So that is the caregiver who is able to do all of this. So God is asking us, the first decree for humans was to read in the name of their Rabb. Which Rabb? This Rabb who created everything. Everything is a creation of our Rabb that is meant for me to read it as that, as a message created for me here and now. Everything is a message for me here and now. If I went back to the previous, remember, circle, then my physical needs of food is a message that I will read here and now. My relationships is something created for me to connect with him and read it as that here and now. My career, my family are all the same. Things that are given to me, created for me, changing for me to connect with my creator here and now. So with the read, the whole universe is meant for us, is created for us. This whole galaxies that we are learning more and more about is created for us to read. So in Surah Fussilat, in Ayah 53, God says, Sanurihim, we shall show them, ayatina, our signs, fil afaq, in those furthest horizons in the universe. This universe, God is saying, it has signs. It has the signs of God. And وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ, and in themselves. حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنْ لَهُمْ أَنَّهُ الْحَقِّ, until it becomes clear to them that this is indeed the truth. Whether this is indeed the truth means this God is indeed the truth, the Quran that explains it is indeed the truth, but what they're saying is indeed a sign of one creator that has ownership of everything. And then, isn't it enough that your sustainer witnesses all things? So the first book, the first Iqra, is the universe. And the second Iqra is that inside us, the feelings that we have inside us. The feeling of satisfaction, of fear, feeling of injustice, feeling of beauty, all these feelings that come to us. In the same ayah, if we focus, the second thing was, we will show them our signs in all of the horizons and in themselves, inside you. Those feelings, who gives me this feeling? Why is this feeling coming? It's coming because I need to protect something. It's coming because I need to stand for justice. It's coming, like every feeling has a reason. That's why it's coming to me. So the reading is reading the universe, reading our feelings, and there is a third, which is a unique dimension that God gave to humans, which is the Ruh dimension. That Ruh dimension is our potential, is the thing that makes us able to connect with those names of God. So we're gonna read the signs out there inside us, but at the end, it's our Ruh, this potential that God created in human beings and elevated us with this creation that makes us ready to receive everything, to connect with God through this Ruh. And in Surah Al-Isra, Ayah 85, God says, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ, and they will ask you about the nature of this Ruh. Ruh meaning the soul, being the message received by the soul. Say the Ruh, the soul or the message by the soul, is of the order of my Rabb. Who's the Rabb? The providing, sustaining, guiding Lord. And you have not been granted from the knowledge except little. Like this Ruh, this matter is something that we have been granted a little from. Only when we are connecting more, only through the way God is teaching us, that we will get that potential. In another surah, Surah Ash-Shura, Ayah 52, God says, وَكَذَلِكَ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ رُوحًا مِّنْ أَمْرِنَا. And this is how we revealed unto you a ruh, or an inspired message from our order. So it seems like it is like something that God is sending to us. And you did not know before that what revelation is, nor what faith is. So this ruh is something that helps us understand the revelation and faith. And thus we have made it, this ruh that we, like, you know, that we don't understand. God says we don't understand what it is. We have made it light, whereby we guide whom we will. جعلناه نورا نهدي به من نشاء. Who we will, from whom? من نشاء, from whom? من عبادنا. So the word عباد, my translation to the word عباد is those who acknowledge our guardianship, who acknowledge me as the Rabb, who are my ibad. Those of us who believe we have a creator, Rabb, who provides, sustains, and guides us. These are the ibad. Those of us who are in that state, Allah will give them through that message, through that ruh, will be able to guide them. And verily, you guide to a straight path. So we realize now that as humans, we have this spiritual need that we spoke about from the beginning, because we have something that is very specific to us, this ruh aspect of us. This ruh aspect that next time we'll see like how God has like blue. God said, I have created you and I have perfected your creation in a way that is made to help you with the message that you are, with the life that you're supposed to live, with what we have put for you in this world. And because of that, I have put this ruh in you. And then God says, وَنَفَخْتُ فِي مِنْ رُوحٍ. And then after he created us, he blew into that thing that we don't know into us, that connection. With everything else God has created, Allah has perfected it, but God has not blew in it of its, that ruh part of it. So that ruh part is the part that we are trying to, like, you know, we're trying to fulfill with our knowledge of who God is. Okay, so I think that's the end of this session. We have 2 minutes, and next time we'll make it like a little bit longer. What I'd like for us to do next time is to, like, you know, think about the message and see, like, you know, was this my question? Like, was this why we started this with, like, why do I want to know about the name of God? Does it make sense to you that we are inbuilt with a need in our ruh to know? Like, without that need being satisfied, we're not satisfied. So, and now we got 2 more minutes. Any comments? Next time we'll have 10 minutes for discussion. So
It is so deep. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I just want maybe to add just the reason why the ayah وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا, why it was revealed. Some of the scholars say that Sayyidina Muhammad was asking Allah, Ya Rahman. He was saying, Ya Rahman. So the mushrikeen or the kuffar said, look at him, he's asking us to worship one God, and he's saying another name for him. So the ayah was revealed, so which means Ar-Rahman or Allah or whatever name you ask Allah is the same, which again will be reflected through the life, as you already said previously, Dr. Alia. We should see the names of Allah in our life, but this point about these names are Allah Azza wa Jal told us about, just to make sure that we understand Allah more. This is what I feel like. Who is Ar-Rahman or the Aati, Al-Wahhab, Al-Shafi. This is me. Again, this is me. That's it.
it's so beautiful that, like, Allah, like, you know, people when they when you buy, like, when you get to learn about something, buy a new something, there is like a guideline, a booklet that tells you how to do it, but they're not no more with you. God created the whole universe for us to see him, created our feelings for us to see him, and sent revelation. And he's changing everything with every second, here and now. Like if you're sad, you're getting it this way. If you're happy, you get, like, he's always with you. Like, you're never away.
But telling us that all these 99 names or 99 descriptions are me. This is what he's telling me in this ayah. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاء. It's just telling everyone. It's not only Allah, the God. That's it. Like English or other languages. In Arabic, in this ayah, he's telling us all of the other descriptions. The 99 names is me. I'm the one. I'm the giver. I'm the one.
And this is where the revelation, we had no way. We had وَمَا كُنْتَ تَدْرِي مَا الْكِتَابُ وَلَا الْإِيمَانُ. We would have not any way of knowing except with Allah revealing to us. So that is the most beautiful, abundant mercy. And I think we're 2 minutes off. So Maryam, you want to make the dua? Well, you're muted. You can say walas if you want to.
Didn't prepare any specific thing, but yeah, I can end it with والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. You want to tell the meaning?
So
Shortly.
Allah is swearing by a time of the day. And that time of the day is al-asr, like the early afternoon. And a lot of scholars say, because it's time, Allah is referring to the fact that we are created with certain amount of hours and minutes and seconds. That is how much time we have. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ is also translated as you are living, you're losing of that time. Like, if you had, let's say, 1,000 hours, they're gonna, be less and less and less. Who would make that time eternal, who would make that time fruitful, will be that group, illa, except الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, those who believe, know who their Rabb is, know who the creator of this universe is, want to know him. That's what we're doing, inshallah. آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. And based on that belief, they are doing good, because there's a lot of people doing good thinking it's from them. But this group is specific that they're doing good based on their understanding of who their Rabb is. آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. And not only there, but like we're doing now, bring each other, let's work together. وتواصوا بالحق, and encourage each other to do what is haqq, like, which is one of the names of God, to stand for what's right. وتواصوا بالصبر, and encourage each other to have patience, because as human beings, we need everything to happen very quickly, and it takes time. So may Allah, inshallah, provide us with the sabr and with the insight. And inshallah, inshallah, Friday, we'll be starting with the name of God, Ar-Rabb, the Rabb. The Rabb is translated as the providing, sustaining, guiding Lord. And I will send, like, there is a beautiful scholar, his name is Nabulsi. He lives in Jordan. I don't know if he's Jordanian, Rana, or Syrian, I'm not sure. And I will send the link if you want to read before, read about the name. That would be also an encouragement. But there's so many, mashallah, scholars out there that are discussing their names. Of
Syrian, yeah.
Yeah. Jazakumullah kull khair. So beautiful to see your beautiful faces.